Alright everybody, today I'm going to show you how I install the glowing Apple logos inside of iPhones. Basically what you do is you're going to open up the phone, take up the battery, and then pop out the original plastic Apple logo that's on the back of the phones, and then replace it with the translucent one, and then over that logo you're going to tape down a little LED logo, little LED strip, and run it to your battery. You can do this on all iPhones, except like the 8 series and the 10 series, just because they do have glass backs. You can't really pop the logo out of glass backs. It's kind of just there for looks. First things first, you're going to take your Y000 screwdriver, and you're going to take out the 2 bottom pentalobe screws of your iPhone just to pop the screen up. So take those out. Set them to the side. You always want to keep your screws organized. Definitely don't want to mix them up and then put them back in the wrong place, because that could hurt you in the long run. And then after that, you're going to take a little opening tool. We like to use the iSesamo. It's just a little metal pry tool. Just kind of pop it in the bottom right there, and then just gently lift the screen up. Kind of go along the edges. Don't push it in too far, because you could actually nick the LED or LCD inside of the phone and then break it. Just kind of pry the screen up, and then the screen is going to open like up and outwards. It's like a book, but you're opening it from the top. And there's the inside of your iPhone right there. What you're going to do next is there's going to be 5 screws right there in this little metal bracket piece. You're going to want to take those out. I'll include a picture, like a little overlay over the video, so I can highlight the 5 screws that you're going to need to remove. And then for this, you're going to use a Phillips head screwdriver, just small little Phillips head screwdriver. I'll include the kit, or a little opening kit for all iPhones, universal opening kit, as well as the actual logo itself in the link below in the description. And always be sure to keep your screws organized. It's a very important step that you do. Definitely not mess around on. So once you have the little bracket off, next step, you want to remove this little bracket right here. It's held down by 2 screws. That's where your battery connection is. Just going to take those out. And once that's out, you can kind of just get it up with your fingers. Be kind of careful not to mess around with anything, but that's what it looks like. And again, I'll include screenshots of the 2 little parts you need to remove. Then after that step, your phone should look like this. The battery connector is right there, that one. So next step, always disconnect your battery before disconnecting your screen, otherwise you could blow the backlight out on your phone. Take a little plastic pry tool and kind of just gently get underneath the battery connector and then pop it up. I'll show you like so. I'll do it kind of sideways like that. So get underneath it and then just pop it up like so, and then you can lift it up with your finger. And then once that's done, you can easily just pop up the rest. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, now that our battery is popped and pried out of its position, we can go ahead and disconnect the screen flex cables and the camera and the Touch ID flex cable. I always like to start with the Touch ID flex cable. Just kind of get underneath it and then just twist it and pop it up. And then for these, kind of just get underneath it, pop it up, get underneath it, pop it up. And there should be one more for the iPhone 6, so just get underneath it, pop it up, just like that. And then you can just remove the screen and set it to the side. And now your iPhone should look like this. Its screen cables are disconnected, its battery's disconnected, and then we're going to move to actually taking out the battery of the phone right now. Okay, so the next step is taking the battery out of the phone. This step can be a bit tricky if you've never done it before. Um, Basically what you have to do is, the easiest way to get the battery out is Apple includes two little pull tabs. You essentially just want to take your pliers, or not your pliers, your tweezers, and kind of get underneath the pull tabs and then pull them out and lift them out. But sometimes they like to break on you, which is a bit of a struggle. So that's why we have the 99.9% alcohol. You take a little syringe of alcohol and you squirt it underneath the battery to remove the adhesive, and then you can just pull the battery right up. So if the pull tabs break on you whenever you pull them with the tweezers, you can just use this alcohol and then soak it under the battery, and it'll eat away at the adhesive and it won't mess with any components because there is no water in it. Alright, so this is going to be the first step at trying to pull away at the pull tabs. Hopefully they don't break on me. You kind of just want to get underneath it and then pull it up with your tweezers, and then kind of grab a hold of it with your thumb and then just kind of pull out on it. And it seems kind of just want to pull your phone away from it and then pull it out at the same time. Alright, so we got the first one removed successfully, and now we're going to try the second one. Hopefully it doesn't break on me. It's a pain in the ass if it breaks, but kind of just, get under there with your tweezers and then kind of lift it up from the battery and pull out at the same time. And then just, continuously kind of wiggle it. You don't want to pull too hard and break it, because if that happens, then you're kind of screwed. Just kind of, pull and then kind of lift it over the Taptic engine. You kind of like twist it around your finger. Anything that's gentle on you. And there we go, we broke it, of course. So, now I can show you another way. If you break it, sometimes you can grab the adhesive with your tweezers and kind of gently just lift it out. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Alright, so I was able to salvage the little tiny bit that broke off. And then I can just kind of pull the rest out very gently. This is the most difficult part, I promise you, is removing the battery. Kind of just keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling, and it broke again, right at the very end. Golly. So you can see the little tiny strip left in there. Gonna get in there with our tweezers, lift it up to where you can grab it with your fingers and then pull it out. There we go. So now your battery should just, fall out. This is a Apple battery, that's what they look like. And then I'll show you the rest on the next step. Okay, so once you get your battery removed, your phone should look like this. Your logo should be seated down by two little strips of electrical tape. What you want to do is you just want to get your tweezers, get under the tape, and then kind of just pull it up. And then it'll expose the logo. You want to be careful when working around this part. There's a flex cable right here, and this flex cable powers your side buttons over here, your lock button, and it also powers your flash for your camera and your microphone for your camera. So you want to be very careful not to, nick that at all or anything, or damage it or cut it in any way. But yeah, so next step, we're going to remove this Apple logo. Okay, so like I said, all you need to do is take your tweezers and just pull up those two pieces of tape. Not that hard. The hardest part is already out of the way. Removing the battery is the hardest part. So there's one. You don't really need to keep them unless you don't have any electrical tape at your side. Definitely don't use super glue. Super glue and phones don't really go together. Super glue will corrode away at the components. And duct tape, you don't really need to use duct tape either. You need to use electrical tape. But yeah, once that's that, your logo will be exposed like that. And then again, we like to take our 99.9% alcohol and a little syringe, just kind of get some alcohol out, and then, you know, use the syringe to get some up. We like to do this because the logo is held down by a little bit of glue. You just want to kind of squirt some alcohol, you know, in the little caveat between the logo and the housing itself. And don't worry, the alcohol won't hurt your phone at all. It's 99.9%. Just use the right kind. Can't go to Walgreens and buy it. You need to order it online. Now once you've put that in there, take your metal pry tool and then kind of just get underneath the logo and pry it up. All right, now that after you've taken your little pry tool and you've wedged it underneath there, you kind of just go around the sides of it and then you just, you know, pop it up. Get it to where you can pull it up with your fingers. And then it should just pop right out. And that's what it looks like. It's a little, you know, plastic logo adhered to a little metal. So then your phone should look like this. Now, you're going to open your logo. It should come with the logo itself, the LED strip, and some instructions that show you how to cycle through the different modes. So, you know, just open it like normal. And then carefully, the stuff will break pretty easily. Get your logo out in your little LED strip. So take your logo off of it. The logo does come with pre-adhesive on it, so all you gotta do is just pull the little paper off. And then it should look like that. Then all you gotta do is just slot it in to where you removed your old logo. And then it should just snap right into place. And then it should look like that. And then there is some plastic on it, so just take it, kind of get the plastic off, because the plastic will show scratches and stuff. Nobody wants that. Okay. And that's that. So then your phone should look like that. And here's the little, there's a little plastic piece over the logo. That's what I was talking about. And now I'm going to show you how to run the LED strip inside of the phone. Okay, for this step, once you have your logo adhered inside of your phone, it should look like that. Be careful again for this flex cable. Be very gentle when wedging it underneath. You do not want to cut it, bend it, or anything like that. So this is what the logo looks like. On the back, you can see there's two little LEDs. What you want to do is essentially you want to put this in the battery slot and then put the battery over it. You want to fold the line. You want to fold it hot dog style over that dotted line. And you're going to run that folded line along the side of the phone's board right there. And then essentially you're going to use some electrical tape and tape down the top of it and the side of it and the bottom of it, just to make sure that the logo stays in place. Alright, so we're going to take our little logo here. We're going to fold it hot dog style across the dotted line. be very careful not to break it or rip it. It is very fragile. It's like a piece of paper. So yeah, once you get it bent, you know, kind of like a 90-degree angle, you know, on the bottom side of it, there will be some adhesive. You just want to pull that off. That's just pre-applied adhesive. And as you can see, be working like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this inside of our phone like so. Make sure you line it up with your battery connection, because that's the most important part. And then kind of press down and go along it with your finger. And just make sure that it lines up with your battery connection. And I'll show you that right now. Okay, see how I've installed it here? You just want to run it along like that. Make sure this matches up with the battery connector. Those 4 little prongs need to match up perfectly, otherwise it will not work. And you just want to run it along. See how that dotted line is like that? It's so you can make this stick to the side of the board. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take some electrical tape. We're going to put tape here, and tape here, and tape all along that, just to make sure that the battery does not interfere with any of the transistors or anything on the actual LED strip. Alright, so once we have our electrical tape holding the logo down, holding it firmly down, we can then retape our battery. We just use some double-sided tape we have here in the shop. Any double-sided tape will work. Just don't use duct tape and don't use super glue. Like so. Then we're just going to take our tweezers, you know, go ahead and focus that. I'm going to go ahead and take our tweezers, peel up the second side of the tape. Like so. Now we see our double-sided tape. Now what we're going to do is we're going to reattach our screen to the phone. You remember, it's like a book. You just you want to press until you can hear it click. You don't want to press too hard or too firmly. You can break a connection pin. So just align everything back up. Make sure it all fits firmly into place. We're connecting our screen. Always connect your screen before you reconnect your battery. And now what we're going to do is get a thing to hold our screen up. What we're going to do is we're going to take our battery, and before you put it back into place, connect it on the actual point and make sure the logo works. So we're going to connect our battery. Don't press too firmly. You don't want to break one of the pins on the glowing logo. Okay, so once that's in there, then you can just slot the battery into place. And then we're going to see the logo turns on. And there we go. We have a logo glowing. Alright, now that we have our metal plate on the battery and the plate, or the bracket I should say, on the screen, you just want to fold the screen down and pop it back into place. Okay, so we're just going to pop our screen back into place, you know, just slot it in through the top and then press down gently on the sides so you hear it kind of snap. And then you want to use your penelope screwdriver and put the bottom 2 screws back in the phone to hold the screen down, like so. And then you have a working logo. So this is what the end result looks like. You can set it to go through different modes. If you double tap it or kind of long tap it to turn it off, long tap it to turn it on, and then double tap. And get it to cycle through all the colors. It's pretty neat. And then you just single tap it to select what color you want. And that's my favorite one. It's kind of like the original like MacBook design, how it glows like that. And yeah, so that is the glowing Apple logo. And that is the glowing Apple logo and how to install it. My phone died, so yeah, if you have any questions or concerns, just let me know. It's a really nice addition to add to your Apple device, especially if you have one you're able to do it to. I'm looking into ways to do it for my iPhone 10, so as soon as I find out a way to do it, I'll definitely show you a tutorial on how to do it. So if you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe down below. And thank you for watching.